What's happening to the Palestinians is horrible, but Hamas has to be condemned and Israel has the right to defend itself. That's something I've heard so many times I've lost count. From Albanese, from Joe Biden, from Piers Morgan. It's almost like they're reading off a script. And it's a strategy because in the end, rerouting the argument to an opinion-based subject is a lot harder to argue against than statistics and numbers, which we all know. If it was a numbers game, Israel would look pretty damn bad. So they don't make it a numbers game, they make it opinion. Israel has the right to defend itself against Hamas. And the reason that this way of thinking is so flawed is that we know that if the tables were turned and Hamas was successfully bombing and killing thousands of Israelis, the Western media would not say the same for Hamas. They would not say that they have the right to defend themselves in this way. How do I know this? Because it already happened. Have you heard of Operation Protective Edge? In 2014, 3 Israeli teenagers were kidnapped and eventually found dead. Now, without any real evidence or indication from the opposing side, Israel immediately accused Hamas of performing these kidnappings. Never mind all of the evidence that shows and leans towards the IDF knowing that these teenagers were dead, but still prolonging their kidnapping as a way to propagandize and turn the Israeli civilians against Palestinians. They had no real evidence to support that it was Hamas or Palestinians that did this, but how did they retaliate? They illegally arrested 350 Palestinian civilians from the West Bank and Gaza. Now keep in mind that Israel has a 95% conviction rate, which means a majority of those 350 civilians were illegally imprisoned without any proper trial. And from any logical person's perspective, not even a quarter of those people would have been a part of those kidnappings, if any of them. I mean, just a few weeks prior, Hamas had actually signed a uniting agreement with the Palestinian Authority, bridging the gap between West Bank and Gaza. Why would they then decide to kidnap 3 random teenagers while they're hiking and then never admit to it? And I think the Israeli government really needs its civilians to believe that Palestinians are animals so that they can believe that they are stupid enough to make these decisions. Do you know how many Palestinian civilians died after Hamas's retaliation of 350 of their own people being illegally arrested? 1,462. Do you know how many Israeli civilians died? 6. And do you know what the Western media said when covering this topic? What's happening to the Palestinians is horrible, but Hamas must be condemned and Israel has the right to defend itself. What more do you need to know?